Welcome to SailGP One-on-One. I'm Lisa Darmanin, and today I'm joined by two people, Bruno Dubois and Quentin Delapierre from the French team. Now, it's been a bit of a rough start to the season, obviously having to sit on the sidelines, but we're here and you're ready to hit the water.
Yeah, super exciting, like new colors, new boat. Was quite disappointing to not race in Dubai and Auckland, but it's unbelievable to come back here in Sydney. It's one of the Grand Prix we loved, and yeah, I just want to race against the others and in front of the Seattle.
And Bruno, I'm sure you've been pretty busy pushing to try get the team on the water as soon as possible, but must feel nice to finally be about to hit the water.
Yeah, it was not about me to push the share service and the technician to get the boat ready from SailGP. It's just for us, what was important is to get the funding, and that's one big broadcast moment last year, talking about one team not be there if they don't find any money, and we promised to find ownership, we promised to find sponsorship, and we delivered. So we're really happy to be there with, allying with the other team who managed to find that, because that's, without the money, there is no racing.
And it must have been hard, Quentin, when you were racing in that final in San Francisco, obviously pushing so hard to make that final. But you didn't know if you were coming back next season either, so a lot going on there.
No, I just trust Bruno. No, it was not that stressful. I mean, in San Francisco, I know that Bruno and Stefan worked pretty hard to come back with some good financial sponsorship, and yeah, I was really confident. And yeah, what happened on water is just learning process. It was super arch, but yeah, I mean, I think we all learned from this journey, from this lesson, and we come back stronger this season.
Let's talk about the two of you. So obviously, Bruno, you've been with the French team since I think season 2, and then gave Quentin a call a couple of years ago to come join the team. What's your journey been like with the French team?
Well, I started with the Chinese team, and we finished third the first year. There was six boats only, so that was good to be on the podium. And with the French team, it's a different project. We know it's a long-term vision that we have with what we want to put in place. Those people who are sailing on SailGP are, for me and for us, the best sailor that there is, on the market right now. And having a French team there is a privilege, and be able to keep a French team against the other one is a privilege. And be able to give Quentin and the team, but the opportunity to compete against those people is very important. And I think you didn't see what Quentin is capable to do yet. I think you'll see in the future. There's a lot of work. There's a lot of things we try, and we readjust, and we. I'm not going to say that we failed twice. I think we just hit the podium, just the step just before the podium twice, and twice we miss it, and we learn from sort of those mistakes or this lack of confidence to go there, and I don't take that as a failure. I take that as an opportunity to learn, and I'm sure this year it's going to be a good year.
And Quentin, I just reflecting on what Bruno said, I think coming into the final 4th and then not quite making it, obviously that's really tough, but before you even entered SailGP, if someone told you you'd be up there twice, would you be happy with that? Or it's hard to look at it that way. I don't know, sometimes when you have these big goals and you just miss out, at least you were pretty close.
Yeah, I understand what you mean. No, I mean, of course, when I came in the French SailGP team, the team was last. Bruno was pushing hard to rebuild something, but I mean, when he asked me to come in the team, I remember he said, like, you will not come with your usual teammates or friends. I just want you to show the vision to the team and make sure that this team can improve and progress into the overall ranking. So finishing like in a battle in San Francisco at the end of first season against the Brits and Ben Hensley was not an achievement, but was something unexpected from the beginning of the season. But honestly, last season it's really
tough.
Yeah, it's tough. It's really tough because I mean, it was not an easy season. We've been fighting hard for finishing fourth in I think 5 Grand Prix, something like this, and sometimes with equal points. So not making those final was not easy to manage, and we were pushing really hard through the whole season. And after all, in San Francisco, we were there. We had an unbelievable Saturday, one of my best sailing journey, I would say. The team was really into it, really focused, and yeah, I mean, this Sunday is not easy to deal with, and yeah, I mean, as I said, I think we learned from that, and I hope this season we will show a good maturity, and we will be in.
I think it's so difficult when you are so focused on that final. You had a pretty big job to do to actually get into that final, and you were doing a fantastic job of that. But in the end, you're defined by that one moment where, you know, it all went wrong, I guess. But I guess you're still proud of your performance, but that one thing is the thing that people remember of that weekend.
Yeah, exactly. Everybody told me about San Francisco. They see this crash, and I mean, they were also super exciting about our Saturday, our starts, our speed, upwind, downwind. But they all remember this Sunday and this last stack around the mark. And which is really, I will not say funny, but it happens all the time. Like all the footage of SailGP show this crash now. This crash is in every footage, so it's not easy.
They won't let you forget it.
Yeah, it's not easy to put on my back, but yeah, I mean, it is what it is, and I will remember this moment for a while.
How did the team sort of reset from that? Obviously you went away and you had the America's Cup, but you didn't know what the next season was going to look like. Then you didn't get to go racing in Dubai and in Auckland. How hard was it to sort of bounce back from that without the opportunity to just get in the boat the next week?
I don't know if it was hard, but we pushed the debriefing, we pushed hard the analysis, and we all trust Bruno and his process to come back stronger with more sponsorship and try to refine a good momentum for this team this season. And I mean, I think part of the process is also to just put it on our back and just focus on future.
Bruno, what was it like for you to sort of watch that weekend play out? I mean, it would have been so exciting that you almost made that final, but also the pain of watching it play out as well.
Yeah. Yeah,
sorry to bring it up again.
No.
We can focus on the next season,
okay,
surely.
It's okay. And the guys on Racing on the Edge asked me the same thing this morning. But no, it's, you know, I've been in this business for a while now. You know, I'm 65, and I had some pretty bad moments in my career with, you know, in both offshore sailing or inshore sailing, where you say, oh, this is bad, this is very disappointing. But those moments make you enjoying very much the good moment. Because if you only have good moment, I think, you know, you're not in a real life. Life is also about, you know, disappointment and try to do better. And you know, you mentioned one thing which was quite correct, is that moment, that little moment. You know, we had this against Ben, I think, and we had that, you know, that fourth race in San Francisco last year, where something went bad, and we analyzed that, and we know that we've been working on it. And after San Francisco, it's not like if we stopped, because we spent basically 4 months together every day. We can include working and and not winning, but developing a way of working together and be able to look forward for the future. And now the fact that we achieve sponsorship, we achieve ownership, I think it's a bit of a relief on that side, and we can concentrate on sailing.
You obviously have a very good relationship. As you said, you had to spend a couple of months together and see each other every day at work and then travel as well with SailGP. How would you describe your relationship with each other? Do you ever fight? Does the driver disagree with the CEO? Or are you always on the same page? Who wants to answer first?
I try to tease him all the time, I say, I give him, but no, we joke quite a lot. I don't think we have any issues. Sometimes I'm pushing the boundary. He knows that. He knows me, and I want him to push, further. And I want him to. I don't want Quentin just to be a driver. He's the skipper. He needs to set the tone, set the pace in a team, and the sailors and the whole team is behind Quentin because he's a leader, and that's what I'm looking at. And the good team, that's what they have. And no, it's okay. I say this morning, and don't take it really, don't take it too seriously, because then I don't want you to be, think you are the king of the road. But I basically say this morning that Quentin is a little gold mine that we didn't manage to find all the gold, and there's some work still to be done. But there is something really good on that I didn't find in a lot of sailors. But there's a lot of, and that's what is great, because it's in French we say it's a brut. There's a lot of, it's not fine-tuned yet. There's a lot of small things that we have to do, and that's what we do with the coach, Philippe Morniac and Thierry Douillard. That's what is our objective this year.
It's always nice to know that you've got more to learn and more to build on. Quentin, what have you learnt from Bruno?
A lot.
He said some nice things about you. So.
No, I'm not joking. I learned a lot. I have a lot of respect for Bruno. It's not easy all the time. As he said, we challenge ourselves not a lot of time, but a few times. And when he punched me, I just step back and say, okay, you're the boss, I'm following. If you said that, it means that I pushed too hard and I step back. So a lot of respect, and also what we learned from last season, doing both SailGP and the Cup was really challenging, and he always keep the same way of thinking, keep the same way of pushing the team, and that was super inspiring for me. So I'm always also really impressed about how tough he can be, and he always come back saying, okay, I just sleep on our talks, on our chats, and I think we should do this way. And it's always a good average to push really hard for the performance and not for someone or for the group. It's always for performance, and he wants us to win races, win championship, and it's super, good vibes, good energy for me to try to be better every day.
That's awesome. He has a lot of experience to bring, so it sounds like it's a
little bit
a great partnership. Quentin, you represented France at the Olympics, at SailGP, and at the America's Cup. That is something that's pretty special to be able to do for your country.
Yeah, exactly. I remember in Barcelona we were chatting with Kevin and Jason, and we had all those 3 accreditation, which is something when you are young or a kid, something that you cannot believe to have one day. But participation is a point, and winning it is another one. I think the Cup is still a really long way, but SailGP, we can do it. We just have to push harder and to believe even more in our team, in our strengths. And this season I just want to have no regrets from this Grand Prix through the Grand Final in Abu Dhabi.
Well, you've had lots of lessons, but let's focus on the 2025 season coming up. I guess, what was it like to sort of have to watch Dubai and Auckland? I mean, it was great to watch, but I'm sure you'd much prefer be racing.
Yeah. I mean, there is no point on this. For sure, I would prefer to compete against the others, but I think our reaction was really good. As soon as we understood that we were not able to race in Auckland, all the sailors just refocus on analyzing the T4 boat handling and how also the new teams are sailing those F50, how Australia, Spain try to define their new boat handling with the T4s. And I spend also a lot of time with Thierry and Philippe in the coach booth, which is, from my view, which was one of our point of how do you say?
You can leverage it more
Yeah,
going forward.
exactly.
Yeah.
And we spend a lot of time together, making sure that all the process is well defined, and we can click on it on our first day of sailing. So yeah, I would say it was really interesting, probably even more than frustrating.
Well, that's good. You take the positive out of it. But you did have an interesting thing in Auckland, and maybe, Bruno, you can talk us through the conversation that you might have had with Jimmy Spithill when they were looking for a flight controller. Or was that you? Who took that phone call?
Yeah, Jimmy sent me a message, but in the parallel, I got a message from Philippe Presti, and in parallel they were talking to Jason. So SailGP is not there yet with the transfer, so we could have sell him for a lot of money. No, I think it was a really good. I think it was good for Italy. I spoke with Kyle, the other day, and he told me that they saw how Jason knew quite well about the flight control, and it was good for us, for Jason to be in those conditions and be training. But to come back on Auckland, how many times the crew have this privilege of this opportunity to say, okay, you know what, we are not sailing today. We take 8 crew. They take, each of them choose one boat, and they analyze the boat, and at the end of the day, they do a debrief. It's normally not possible because you don't have the time, and Quentin is there with the 2 coach looking, understand better now. The other sailors, they don't. The other team, they don't have the time to do that. So, I think the Kiwi have done it last year when they had problem also with their wing. I think we did a good job in Auckland to optimize the time we had, if we were not in the water.
Often, I guess, you're so focused on yourself and getting through the weekend and looking at yourselves that you do take the data inputs from elsewhere, but to actually have that ability to really look at everyone in such a big learning stage for the fleet is pretty incredible. What do you think of the new T-foils? Are you excited? You did some training on them.
Yeah, we did some. I mean, quite impressed about the range of the new T4s. Like the takeoff are way earlier than the old HSBs. I was surprised that in Auckland the top speed was not reached. I think it was 98 or
96, I think.
96. I was expecting some breaking records.
So you still hold the in-race speed record?
Yeah, we still hold it. And really interesting also to see. I mean, at the end of last season, the SailGP fleet just sailed in the same way, like probably the Kiwis and the Aussies set the how do you say the average mark, the benchmark, and so the whole fleet was looking for sailing as the Kiwis or the Aussies. And in Auckland, it was super interesting to see Spain and the Aussies sailing in a different way, but both were working. And it's always as a passionate athlete, it's always super nice to see different kind of sailing. And I mean, that's the beginning of the T4s, and we see who is right.
And you're going into this weekend with average points, but we still have many events for the rest of the season. And from our chat so far, expectation is to definitely be in that final at the end of the year.
Yeah, but it's still a long way. But you're right. The average point is a good point for us, and we just have to take it step by step and making sure we stay patient and we can climb slowly in the ranking.
Well, let's talk about your new sponsor. It's very exciting that you are launching your new boat, team ownership. Maybe what can you tell us?
What I can tell you that we have Accor who decide to go bigger as a sponsor of the league and sponsor of the team. We also have, Leighton who just joined us as a secondary sponsor. We have more to come that we'll announce soon. And then we have the ownership where, we have a group of investors who decide to take on a large part of the ownership of the team. And what I'm very, very proud of is the fact that the team is fully sponsored. The evaluation of the team is one of the highest of SailGP. Our team is evaluated at $60 million, which is, remember, at the beginning of SailGP, we start talking about 20 million, and it was only 2 years ago. So I'm really happy about that. Happy that the owners and the people who invest were willing to spend that money. That means that there's a lot of expectation, but they believe that our team has a good future. And I didn't want to push really ownership before having sponsorship, because I know it was dangerous because we could have been kicked out of the league. But in order to have a proper ownership, you need to have sponsorship, because an investor, they want to have a return on investment. And if there is no sponsorship, after a couple of years, they will go somewhere else or sell their shares to someone else. And that's not really, we are looking at long term. And when a, sponsor and owner are part of the same family, that's a good point.
Does it take the pressure off, or does it put more pressure on, or you just focus on the sailing and Bruno can
Pressure
deal with
is
it?
on.
It's exactly the same with or without sponsors.
You want to win. You want to win,
Yeah.
right? Well, focusing on Sydney, you touched on it before. It's I'm biased, but it's a lovely place to be able to have your first event for the season. You won, was it 3 out of 3 races a couple of seasons ago here in Sydney? It looks like it's going to be a pretty nice forecast as well. So you're looking forward to getting out there and ripping around the harbour.
Yeah, sure. Honestly, it's probably the best Grand Prix of the season. It's always unbelievable to just tow in front of the Opera House and just race in front of all these sailing fans. I think Australia and New Zealand are just unbelievable for that. All the fans know pretty well about sailing, and for a sailor, it's something that you cannot meet all around the world, and this is why Sydney is really special also. And you know what? When you come from France and Brittany, raining every day, to be sitting here in Sydney and just watching the sun it's a cool stuff.
Wait a second, you just said that it is the best place to go sailing here. You said the same thing 2 weeks ago in Auckland, by the way.
You just say
Yeah,
what I want to hear.
That's what I said.
He's a really good salesman.
I said
You
New
need to get
Zealand
him
and
on the
Australia.
sales pitch for those new
Yes,
sponsors.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, well, that was awesome. Thank you so much for
you
chatting
very
to me and giving me some insights into your team over the last couple of years. And I can't wait to see what you guys do next, and happy to see you back on the start line.
Thank you, Lisa.
Thank you.
Pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, that's it for One on One. I will see you next time.